Welcome to the Cincy Postcast. I'm Kevin Wallace, and before we get started with today's episode, I get to tell you about our friends over at Streetside Brewery. You want to know where they are? Well, that's crazy because, of course, you've already been there before, but just in the off chance you need to put it in your favorites and your favorite map app of choice. They are located at 4003 Eastern Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45226, the Columbia Tusculum East End neighborhood there. They are brewing some of the best, most delicious, award-winning beers you will find anywhere in this city, anywhere in this country, and they have the resume to prove it. Speaking of resume, they are celebrating their 9th anniversary. 9th anniversary, 9 years of Streetside on September 27th, starting at 10 a.m. My goodness, okay? They have special collab beers, barrel-aged releases, craft burger bros are going to be there, live music. Come on. They've got yacht rock in the late afternoon, early evening from 3 to 5. What are you waiting for? Go check out our friends over at Streetside. You will have a really good time. You will have some delicious beers. You have some good food, some good company, great staff helping you out. It is a good time. Cannot recommend them enough. Huge thank you to Streetside for making this episode possible. And on today's episode, oh, baby, it's a win. Evan Louro is on the podcast, and we get to talk to him in part one. Great conversation. You know it's going to be a great conversation, okay? Evan is our guy. Part two, we wrap it all up with a good long look at this match against Nashville. It was a win. FC Cincinnati, third place in the Supporter Shield table. They are 2 points off of the leaders. All to play for as we reach the final 4 matches of this season. There is so much happening. This is such a fun episode. I think you're really going to enjoy it. The Shield race is on, and on with the postcast. But joining me to talk about all of that and more, I am joined not by one, not by two, by 3 gentlemen to talk about the amazing win over Nashville, because we are, of course, joined by FC Cincinnati starting goalkeeper, Evan Louro. Evan, how are you doing this evening? This is how I'm going to pronounce it. There is no moving from this pronunciation. I have tried so hard.
It's thanks for involving me as an alternate co-host at this point.
Yes.
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Dude, great. Kevin, how's that sponsorship for Evan coming along?
No joke, Evan, we need to speak after this. No less than like 4 or 5 coffee/pizza shops have reached out. And I'm not even joking. You are beloved by the community.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations on the first win in MLS. How did it feel waking up this morning as a MLS, I'm going to say champion at this point, that you have conquered MLS?
No, it felt good. I mean, a little sore. We had to go in this morning. Usually, yeah, tough. But usually day after home games, they'll make us go in, and like the guys that I think played less than 45, like train, and all the other guys stay inside. So it was nice to laugh at everybody else for once.
Yeah. Do you wave? Do you be like, sorry guys, not this week?
I feel weird. I like sat outside the whole time, like watch them. I was like, I feel like I don't belong inside.
Were you at least able to use the espresso machine to make an espresso? Like, I was a little concerned that iShow Speed might have broken it.
Yeah. This guy is something else. Let me tell you.
I would have done exactly what you would have done. I would have sat out on the veranda watching training underneath me, sipping coffee. That seems like the ultimate power move after a win. And then two, I gotta know, like, were you in the building when Speed was there, and what was that experience like?
Well, they at first they told us the night before that he was going to be there around like 11. So like while we're training, and he'll, pop in, and then like everyone can kind of tell what time it is outside, and it's like getting close to 11, and he's like not even there. And I think he was to be fair, I think he was at his old school or something.
Yeah.
Before that. So like we were all like, all right, like he's going to be a little late, no problem. And like, I mean, I know he's super famous. I have 2 kids. I don't have time to watch somebody else live their life.
Nope.
He's super famous, and I thought it was going to be cool. But it got to like 1:30, and I'm like, I'm going home. And as soon as I got in my car, there was like 7 Escalades like pulled up, like 50 cops. Like there's no cops where we train. Like it's, you guys know where we train. It's just like normal. Like you just pull in. There's no gate. And I was like, yeah, it's probably time for me to leave. I don't want to be.
You didn't want to stay and ref the fight that was happening in the parking lot after he finished up with his training session.
Yeah, like there was kids like pretending to deliver pizza or something. I heard about that.
Oh, that's funny.
I heard from a well-placed source as well that over like 20 or 30 places sent delivery food to the training ground just on the hope that he might like interact with a box that had their logo on it. So like they were turning DoorDash deliverers away, like just food showing up all morning.
That makes a lot of sense, because like I heard like there was like a pizza delivered by like 5 kids, like the Jordan thing where like it's like pizza or something like that. And like just to see if they'd like let them in, and they're like, nah, you guys, first of all, go to school. It's like a weekday.
Right.
And like, no, we're not gonna let you in. To be fair, it's the most secure I've ever seen the building.
Nice.
Did it make you ask any questions about how secure a normal weekday is at the training ground?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's been a couple incidents in like my 4 years here, and like I'm just like, yeah, we should probably figure this out.
It's you love that it's like it's more secure when a random streamer shows up than like MLS Cup playoffs or Eastern Conference Finals, where you'd expect, some shenanigans, right?
Yeah, I think it was like 3 years ago. Like I was in the cafeteria, and like Cody with the chef and all the the kitchen staff was in there, and this guy just walked in with like a box of like those powdered donuts and like a gallon of orange juice, and he like walked in one of the side doors, and he's like, hey, do you guys want some of this? And we all looked at each other, we're like, no. And he's like, all right. But like he was so confident. I'm like, this guy belongs in here. Like he's not doing it. And he just like kind of walked down the hallway, and then like our security guard was like, that guy didn't check in with me. And I was like, I mean, he didn't check in with me.
Well, he's got donuts. He must belong here.
But I think something was wrong with the door. They ended up getting it fixed like 20 minutes later, because they were like, this is bad. But yeah, no, that was a funny little. So yeah, glad we've kind of turned up the heat.
Yeah.
I've always heard that the way to get in anywhere is to dress like you're delivering a package, like a UPS thing, or to have like one of those like high visibility yellow like vests, like you're working on the side of the highway. I never thought about carrying a box of powdered gas station donuts. Like that might have to be my new go-to.
Yeah, it was really weird. And he was just like, all right, you guys don't want any? All right, I'm just going to go ask around. And we were all like, all right, yeah. Like Pat's upstairs. Like
It's like, why'd you kick my donut guy out? I've been asking for him all day.
Yeah. Pat ordered him actually.
That was my donut concierge.
No, but it's all fixed now, so no one can get in. We're locked in.
Yeah, Fort Knox.
That's a shame because I was really going to send our man on the beat, Damon Gumbert, to see if he couldn't break into Mercy Health Training Center to see if we couldn't get an exclusive interview somewhere.
You should try. I'd be interested.
That'd be the expose, actually showing how weak the security is.
The worst version of the Ocean's 11 franchise ever, like attempting to break into the Mercy Health Training Complex. So I got to ask you, Evan, last night, when did you sort of get the word that the United States men's national team had abused our favorite son, Roman, and hurt him so severely?
Well, I think I found out before any of our staff found out because I got a couple friends that are there that I grew up with. And they were like, they texted me, they're like, hey, like,
Good news, bad news.
Well, they were like, be ready. I was like, first of all, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a couple years. But then I was like, all right, like I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing until somebody tells me otherwise. And then I think I don't know what day Rome got back. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. And he was like, yeah, no dice, bud. And I was like, all right, so time to go.
Damn.
Did he get in a fight? Did he get in a fight with Sean Zawadzki? They both go out to training and now they're injured.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I back Rome, though, to be fair.
I don't know. Evan, you might have implicated yourself. You had friends up there. Could you call in a favor? You know, you're asking for the starting job a little bit.
Well, it's just because I'm from Jersey. You say something like that, that's crazy.
I'm just connecting dots, okay?
Right.
I'm not making accusations.
It's because you're from Michigan. You went to Michigan.
Look, it's the sports world has been craving this kind of a scandal ever since Nancy Kerrigan. Like, we need a new one. Like, the streets are demanding it. Like, Netflix needs a new documentary to make here in about 15 years. We need to. Is this the most lead time you've had to know that you were about to start since you've been in FC Cincinnati?
No, I think Leagues Cup, they told me like a week before that they were, I mean, like, hey, this is like the plan. But I mean, at this point, like I've been around, I know what to do. I know how to prepare. It sounds stupid, but every Monday I go in like I'm playing. That's how I've felt like I have to deal with it. I mean, I like playing. I don't like enjoy not playing. But at the end of the day, like I need to do whatever the team needs. That's my job. That's what I want to do. And yeah, when it comes time for me to get my shot, all I can do is make the most of it. That's it.
You made the absolute most of it against Nashville. Hell of a performance, some incredible saves, some pulling some moments out where it really felt like you were going to become man of the match, depending on how the rest of this game was going to play out. Sadly, I think Evander might have stolen that from you right there at the very end. But I thought it was an incredible performance. I do got to say, though, I thought it was really clever to let Surridge score one. And here's why I think it's important to let him score one. One, we can't let Evander win MVP. That's important. So we got to let Surridge, run away with the golden boot. Two, selfishly, I need you back here next year. So like, if you put on a clean sheet, I don't need other teams taking a look. Okay. So this is very, very smart.
It's a good point. I am in a contract year, I guess.
I have also noticed this.
Yeah, my wife said something to me like something similar. She's like, it's just easy. I like it here.
Well, that's great. That's great.
we're big fans of the missus now. This is good news for everybody involved now.
She's on our team.
I was actually just gonna say, like, Kevin, it's pretty harsh to put that one on Evan, but maybe we should.
Yeah, actually,
it sounds like we should.
Yeah, go on.
Right. It's like 1v1, just completely unmarked. It's like, yeah, definitely your fault.
Nope. There were no blown assignments. There was no clever runs or good smart passes. No.
So I want to ask about last night's match, but I don't want to ask about a save. Well, my favorite part of the game last night from your perspective is there's a moment in the first half where you threw one of the best passes I have ever seen straight down the seam that led to like the first counterattack, like genuine counterattack I've seen in weeks. What on earth do you see in that moment to make you think, oh yeah, I got this one?
Yeah. Well, I thought I was going to be Justin Fields because the New York Jets are my team. But he was really, really bad today. We, I mean, obviously we go over set pieces and stuff like that. And, we know how strong Nashville specifically is, on set pieces. And I knew if I was to get it in my hands, Evander, and it was mainly Evander and Brenner that kind of was where I was looking. But then I just kind of saw Pavel, and like, if you watch it, like he's just kind of running like backwards, but like facing me, and he's just like throwing his hands on the floor. And I was like, all right, like you got it, dude, go on. And I just knew that he had space to turn. And I mean, when you're growing up, you're taught to like give information with your pass. So I was like, I kind of threw it a little in front of him, a little spin. I gave a little snake eyes to Evander because he was on the left, and I was like, yeah. And he just, I mean, and then Pavel kind of took it from there. I mean, he, let it run in front of him so he can like, go on the break. And I think he passed it out. I think it was Dom. He passed it out wide too. And then, I mean, they defended it well, but yeah, I knew I'd get like a chance or two if I get it quick in my hands and I can get it out quick, just because, I mean, we got some horses that can run,
Right.
Yeah.
And when you let that fly, is there like, as soon as you throw it, is it like, oh yeah, got him?
Yeah. I was like, just be sick if we score off of this. I'm like, I don't care how it goes in. Like Evander could dribble 6 people, but I was like, this is all.
Look, that 2010 Landon Donovan World Cup goal goes down, I think, equally for the throw from Tim Howard. Okay, so like there's absolutely a reason why you should be proud of that throw there. When it comes to that moment, like you gather the ball after a save or collect a cross in or something like that, and you've got the ball, you're looking out. Is it rehearsed like sets that you guys are running, like I'm thinking of like youth basketball, we're running number 2, or are you just seeing what the defense gives you and placing it where you think is best?
Yeah, no, there's no set.
No.
It's like, I mean, I've grown up with always quick restarts and trying to get an advantage off of that. So it's just like my habit at this point. When I get it, I like, even like a goal kick, I'll get it as quick as I can and I'll put it down. Because if like I see someone running, I could do it. Not saying that's the right way to do things. Everybody, does things different, whether we, slow it down and, it gives us time to build and stuff like that. Like, that's great. But me, if I can get the ball as far away from my goal and as close to their goal as fast as possible, I'd rather take that. But yeah, no rehearsing. I kind of have a general idea of where people are going to be at, and then I can just kind of go from there.
Nice.
So the team, you mentioned Brenner, a lot of new faces into the team this transfer window. Last 2 weeks has been really kind of like a time off to sort of integrate some of these new pieces around. How have the new faces fit in, and do you know everybody's name yet?
Yeah, I mean, Brenner kind of just walked in like he never left.
Sorry guys, I was out grabbing some cigarettes. I'm back now.
Yeah. Like I mean, he's number 8 instead of 9. That's really like the only difference. And he has like Portuguese friends. So yeah, I mean, that helps. And like Brenner knows all the staff, all the back rooms, all the kitmen, all the kitchen people, they know what he likes to eat already. And yeah, Ayup and Dom, I think they came the same day as Brenner. And Matt is Polish, so Dom is Polish, so they're speaking Polish to each other, and don't really sound real to me, but whatever they want to do in their little corner over there is fine. And yeah, Ayup, he speaks French, so that we have like a lot of like French speakers on our team, so he's been integrated pretty quick.
Big guy,
and then
like shockingly big dude. I say that as a shockingly big dude.
Unit built like a vending machine. And Sammy just got in a couple days ago, and he's quiet, but he's like OB Junior. Like I feel like they act the same. They're both quiet. Like when I first met OB, he was quiet, but you can tell Sammy speaks really good English. So I mean that's going to help him out. But yeah, I mean, and with him, you can already see like kind of what he's got, and he's got some special talents and stuff like that. So I mean, the quicker that these guys can get off and running, the better for us.
Definitely. Yeah. And last night, goals being scored. Been a while since we scored some goals at TQL Stadium. As the goalkeeper sitting at the back and seeing all of these chances happening, and just Brenner right in front of goal can't make it happen in the first half. There was one from Denke that was just a missile. There was another one from Brenner. At any point, are you thinking in the back of your head watching this, like, oh God, could one of these go in, please?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm thinking. But at the end of the day, I think especially yesterday, the way we were getting chances, they were, not like, here you go, E, figure it out, bud. They were more like clear cut chances. And, I thought we looked really dangerous, especially on the counter. So that was like encouraging, like, all right, we're going to get a chance. We're going to finish at least one. And then we can kind of, I thought once we finish one, like everyone's, like relaxed and can, go from there. But yeah, I mean, of course I was like, come on guys, just put one in.
I think especially too for the crowd. Right. Like I have felt, other people have felt a sort of like weird nervous energy around TQL Stadium. I think getting that first one in sort of like let the crowd relax. Finally, it had been a little bit since they'd seen one go in. So that made me wonder, as the home goalkeeper, is there a difference for you defending the Bailey goal versus the South End goal? Is that different at all for you? Do you prefer one or the other? Feel free to make it up if you don't want to give that intel out there, but
no, yeah, doesn't bother me. I mean, for me, honestly, like the Bailey is so loud. So like the only thing is like being able to speak to people. So like first half yesterday, like that's why like my voice is gone, because I'm like, even if it's just like a little thing, like I get maybe like 10 yards of like range, especially like when like they're singing and stuff like that. Yeah. I try to like, I purposely wait for like a lull, like between like chants where I can like kind of slip like, hey, Matt, right. And then they'll start.
So do we need to have like a hand signal that you give to tell everyone to shut up for a second so that like you can give your like instructions out on a corner kick or something like that?
I might just be like, shh, hold on.
I'll tell you this, the capos make an X over their head. You throw one of those up, you'll stop the drum line immediately.
I might have to use that, but I kind of just want to see if they'll stop. Like,
I don't know if you pay attention. I don't know if you pay attention to such things. Not that I would expect you to, since you're trying to win a soccer game. You do have your own song now in
That
the
is
Bailey.
true.
I heard that for the first time last night.
I never heard it. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So there is a Louro says no on a save thing now, which is
Oh, is it like Mitch?
like Mitch. Yeah, you're the heir apparent to the Mitch says no chant.
It has been a long time
Mitch
since we've.
Jr.
Yeah.
That's top. That's cool. No, I didn't even notice that.
Oh, we'll have to make it louder next time.
The tough part, I think, is that like most of your saves ended up with you on the ground, probably in some amount of pain. So I don't know in that moment you're properly processing what the crowd is doing right there.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, that's
the one where
I'm getting-
the tip over the crossbar. That doesn't feel good when you fall after doing that, right? Like
no, that sucks. But like the adrenaline is going, so like. You don't feel it in the moment, but I felt it this morning.
in that moment, I was at the game, obviously, and I saw afterwards, you ran up to Brian and Nunga right after that. Was that you're welcome because I just sold out for this, or was that like words of encouragement, like, let's do this, we got this?
All right. You can choose to not believe me all you want. Hand to God, I ran up to him and I said, "Hey, Brian, thanks. I want to play too. Appreciate it." I swear. You can ask him or don't. It doesn't bother me. But I swear, I was like, "Thank you for letting me play too."
Oh man, it's a slow burn for him too, right? Like it's gonna be like waves of realization with that one.
They sent us pictures after the game, and like they took a picture of that, and I'm like, I think I have it. Hold on, I'll show you. It was like I was actually like laughing. Here, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could just tell he was really confused because it was a serious situation. And I was like, obviously trying to like make him laugh a little bit. I don't think he like kind of caught on to what I was saying until after. But
So
it was funny.
The picture brings up something that I've seen some fans comment on, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you about this. So like your hair in the picture looks great.
Oh,
right.
That's right. We did get questions about this.
You're jumping around. You took some really hard shots, right? You're taking these hard falls. It doesn't move. What's the
Ready
secret?
for war. Ready for war.
What's the product regimen here? Like, I gotta know. Like, I might use this in court the next time I go.
So, me and Alvis Powell have this thing where before every away trip, we go to Target.
Okay.
No reason for it. We did it separately, just on our own. And then I saw him in there. And I'm like, "Hey, do you want to just come with me?" So he was like, "Yeah, all right." So like, we go to Target together, and he bought. I don't know what he gets, but he gets like socks. He gets socks before every trip.
Okay.
Because he likes having new socks for games, and only these specific socks where I don't even know what they're called, but they have to be these socks. And I always go and I'll like, it always works out where I like have to get like a new deodorant for the trip or like toothpaste, stuff like that. So I started getting this it's like pomade at Target, and it's called Fix Your Lid. And I was like, this is like a clever name, so I'll try this one. And then it started like last year, and I was like, I'll just keep using this one. And like Matt and all them, they say I wear a helmet because it like doesn't move.
It does not move.
And like they all like secretly, like when I'm outside, they steal it. Like to use it for themselves, but they don't want to like tell me. And like I know that they're like, I know how much is in there.
Wait, do they put it in like a little container and take it home, or they just use it right then?
No, they use it. They go into like my toiletries bag and they like put it in their own hair after
Dig their
like trying to
fingers in there and just like digging your hand into another man's pomade.
It's
Wow.
crazy.
That's psycho.
That's
That's
crazy.
psycho
Wow.
behavior.
And like, I knew that this was happening, but I kind of just like let it go because like I'm the glue of that group. So if I start like giving it back, like they're gonna lose their minds.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, I let them like, you know, kind of make fun of me. I'm like, yeah,
Right.
all right, guys. Like, Matt, you don't bother me. Like, it's okay. And then like the other day, Lucas came up to me and he's like, got a confession to make. And I'm like, I'm like, what? He goes, I've been stealing your gel. I'm like, for what? And he goes, he's like, shit from you. And then he just like walked away. So yeah, fix your lid at Target, the green one. And there's like a bunch of colors, but
There's
The
a
green
green one. Yeah, well, it
Okay.
sounds like the glue of the group is fix your lid.
Yeah, actually, that's the actual.
Yeah,
clue.
yeah, you're right.
It's keeping what's left of Lucas's hair on his head. I like this.
yes.
You can't
When
afford
Brad
it.
Smith comes
Afford it.
calling, you've got a whole problem, though.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So I got to ask too. Big news this week with the team. Miles Robinson signs a big new contract. Have you hit him up for any money yet?
Dude, rolling in it, isn't he?
Right?
Wow.
Well, so when we went to Portland, Evander like took a bunch of us out to eat because obviously he lived there, and we went there like 2 days before. Usually, like if it's just like a normal trip when we go the night before, we don't do that. But we got there on a Thursday, so Evander's like, "Oh, you know, I got this nice sushi spot," so he took us all out, and then we were all talking about like, oh, like before this came out, like, oh, like where are we gonna go in LA? Like, because you got to book it.
Right.
Sure.
And they're like, and we're like, all right, every time Evander buys us dinner, he scores. So he kind of has to, because the other time was Orlando
Yep.
and he scored like a free kick from like midfield.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, you kind of have to take us out. Like,
Right. Sorry,
take us all to,
I don't make the rules, man. Like, so it's just the way it's science. I can't explain it.
like, you're welcome. And like, these are not like little, like, these are like nice places.
Right.
So anyway, so we're like thinking, oh, where are we gonna go? LA, and like, oh, I was like, we can't make Evander pay for us again. Like that's outrageous. And now Miles is paying.
Yeah.
Enough.
That seems very fair.
Like, man's good for it now. Man's good for it.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, he deserves it. I mean, he's. I mean, you hear what everybody says about him. I mean, they're not lying. So he's more than earned it.
No, we're excited about it. We're excited about the future. Evan, I say thank you so much for coming on, man. The second I heard Roman was injured, I made this meeting invite. Okay. I don't know when it was sent to you. It was made a couple of days ago. So.
Well, I'll tell you when it was sent to me. Yeah, I got a little notification from no, I don't want to divulge my sources, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, what time is it? It was 11 in the morning on Friday.
Nice.
It was the meeting it was the meeting like ID or whatever, and it goes, just putting this here. And I saw it, but I'm no rat, so I can't like obviously say like what's going on before the game.
Right.
But like after the game, I'm fair game.
Yeah.
I like to think that because, you know, we sent that out there and we put that out there in the universe, you know, we were going to have a good time in this conversation. And that was like, that is the kind of karma that wins a game and, you know, has a stellar performance. So is there anything you want to say to us for inviting you onto the show and like, you know, helping manifest this day today?
You know, some would say that that's an assist bonus. So, but
some
yeah,
people's
I mean,
representation would qualify that as.
I knew it was going to happen. I was just like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I'm going to go on. I'm going to
Go talk to these knuckleheads.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then I actually told my wife, I was like, oh, I told her today. I was like, hey, by the way, I got something to do at 8. And she goes, oh, is it the podcast again?
We are annoying. We made it.
To be fair, my wife says the same thing. I do this show every Sunday night. It's like, oh, is it the podcast again? You actually like this too. I told her you were going to be on the show, and she's like, oh, is that on camera? He can't see that the room is messy behind you. I don't want Evan to know we live like animals. I was like, no, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, I got 2 little kids, so I'm watching Justin Jefferson because I'm playing Dotto.
Tell me more about this. Fantasy football? Who's in the league? I need to know this.
All right. Excuse me while I take out my phone. So I absolutely murdered Corey Baird last week.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. See you later, Stinky.
Yeah, he doesn't play for this team anymore. You can go.
Yeah, no, I have 0. Like, so it's me. Nick is not doing great either. Austin, Barry,
of course.
Corey.
Terrible goal for Austin Barry.
Dotto, Roman, Miles, Evander, DeAndre, Lucas, and Brad.
Love it.
And Dalton.
Who had the best draft? How's Evander at American football? I got to know this.
So this is my first year doing it, and this is also Evander's first year ever doing it.
Nice.
And he is currently 1-0.
Oh, there we go.
So
okay.
Yeah, and he's got a chance this week too. Lucas really bad.
I was just gonna ask, like, Luke, what's Lucas's background with American football? Did you guys have to explain it to him?
Yes.
Did you guys do an auction draft?
And Corey notoriously takes advantage of foreigners.
No.
So we had to warn him. We just call Lucas Dane just because he's the Dane. So we were like, whatever you do, whatever trade Corey sends you, decline. Just don't.
Corey's just sending a bunch of 2-for-1s.
Yeah,
he's 2 guys.
He's diabolical. No remorse either. It's really bad. But yeah, no. So I have 1 player left to play, and it's Justin Jefferson, and I'm down 20. So yeah. Well, so I had who did I have? This is what's messed me up because I thought I was being smart, and I had Jaden Daniels.
Not great.
No, but I benched him. Benched him.
Good for you.
Right?
Yeah.
Or I thought.
But
because I have the Packers defense because Micah Parsons got traded the week before, and I was like, all right, I'll have that. Thanks.
Yeah, right.
So, and I had my other quarterback is Justin Fields.
Your guy.
Really bad today.
Oh no.
He gave me 3 points.
That's usually good for a soccer player, right?
Yeah. And Jaden Daniels had 19. So I was like, yeah, and that's what I'm literally down 20.
You're down by thank you, Justin. Thank you for nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, I need Justin Jefferson to just go off, which is not going to happen, but whatever. I just don't, because Dotto is weirdly good at it.
He's a kid. They all live online. They know all the news.
I think last year was his first year doing it, and he won.
Nice.
Whoa.
And I'm like,
hustling the vets. Love that for him.
I bet Dotto talks too, doesn't he? He seems like the
Dotto
type.
does talk. Yeah. And he's another one. He likes to float weird trades out there.
Ooh.
Just to see what dummy will take it.
It's Corey Baird
Not me.
training.
Yeah, not
He's
me. You're not gonna
learning
catch
under
me.
Corey Baird.
So,
All right,
but
so now I'm going to need regular updates on how the fantasy league is going, because it would be the funniest possible outcome if Lucas ended up winning this league after being hustled into it.
yeah. To be fair, like he like commits himself to American sports. Like
Aw.
he was like a huge Pacers fan last year. Like he went to a game,
That's
like
amazing.
in Indiana. Yeah, him and Brad went to a Pacers game, and then like the tennis here, he was there every day,
Nice.
like
I love
every
that.
day.
I love that.
So he's really he tries to do. He goes to Reds games all the time. Like he's like I'm in America. Like I'm gonna do it.
I need him to adopt the weirdest possible NFL team. I need him to like become suddenly a fan of the Houston Texans or something like that.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good question. I gotta see what football team he'll like, because he's like you can't shake him off the Pacers now. He's like, yeah, the mighty, like
Lifelong fan.
yeah, like it's like he's watched them for 20 years, but it's been like 20 days. But fair play. I mean,
maybe the Colts, right? Maybe he just goes all in on Indianapolis
Danny
sports.
Dimes. Well, best of luck to you. I'm especially hoping for Justin Jefferson because they're playing the Falcons tonight, right? I think.
yeah,
Falcons,
it's on right here.
Falcons, worst team in football. Can't stand them. Anything we can do to make the Falcons lose is good for me.
That is good.
Fair enough. Who's your team?
Tampa. Was born in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So lifelong Buccaneers fan. I don't talk about that a lot on here because the Bengals fans tend to get upset when I point out that we've won the Super Bowl twice in the last 25 years. So
Yeah, I went to Tampa, and then Tom Brady 2 weeks later went to Tampa. But it was during COVID, so like because we went to like where he threw the Super Bowl into the water, like right above it. And we were watching, I was like, not smart there, bud.
no.
And he's a Michigan guy, so I'm Tom Brady fan.
Same.
That's right. That's right.
Actually, I got to meet him one time. It was when we played Inter Miami, actually. He was at the game. And he was like in the tunnel, and I like walked past him, and I like didn't want to like, So I was like, "Hey Tom, go blue, bud." And he's like, "You Wolverine?" And I was like, "Well, hell yeah." And I was like, "Sorry, hell yeah."
Nice.
And he was like, "Hey, all the best this year." I was like, "Oh, thanks, Tom."
From one goat to another, right there in the
I was
top.
like, what's this step? He's like, "We just become best friends." Yup. Karate in the garage. Yup.
We work that into as many conversations as possible. I was talking to my good friend Tom Brady the other day.
Yeah. Thomas Edward. Who's that? Oh, Thomas Edward Brady. Yeah.
Heard of him?
Of course.
7 Super Bowls. Yeah, he's a friend of mine, We're kind of on a first name basis, Michigan guys.
We're friendly.
He just
hope for the best for each other.
But yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool. I find myself in weird situations like that all the time, but I'll take it.
We are the podcast of weird situations. We appreciate
Fair
your
enough.
time, Evan. The next time you start, look for the Zoom invite. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, awesome, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys.
All right. And we are back, in a huge thank you to Evan for being on the show. Happy to start the show off with Evan, because the second, as you heard us say, the second there was an inkling he was going to be playing in this game, we had to invite him on. Okay, that's just how this works. And I want to make that a contractual thing. So stay tuned on that front. But Chief, we have a win to talk about.
We do.
You or Grayson, want to start off the show by apologizing to me, telling me that I was right, you were wrong, anything you might want to get off your chest.
Yeah, Grayson, do you want to apologize for being the wrong one on this show?
I'm here for you guys to express some gratitude for my contribution because I didn't go to the game.
Thank you.
So
wait,
I'd been going to games. Oh yeah, I looked at it. I haven't seen a win in TQL Stadium in months.
That's true.
Now you have to stay away for the remainder of the season. Sorry.
Now I can't go anymore.
Yeah.
Instead, I went to see a play.
Nice.
Did it involve a time traveling car? Because I hear that's in town.
No. So this one was called King James. And it was
you watched the Lakers practice? What?
Yeah, it's at the No Theater. And I do think people should go.
It's a retelling of the Bible.
It's about two guys in Cleveland who are buddies and like Cavs fans, and it's about like their friendship and the relationship between like a city and a team and fans and a team and the players on the team. It's like very thematic for like some of the stuff we've touched on on this show.
So you did go to the game.
I did go to the game. Yeah.
You really explored your inner fandom with this one.
Yeah. I got to meditate on fandom. And then today I went to the Bengals game and I've just been like all weekend just thinking about like
toes,
how people like what the relationship is, like how people's lives relate to like what they do when they go to games. And I think there does need to be some kind of a sociological study done. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't want to know.
Even more than that, Grayson, as an entertainment product, sports is I don't know how I'm supposed to use that. Essentially one of the only shared forms of culture we still have in streaming eras and siloed entertainment where, a streamer can be one of the most famous people in the world and nobody that you work with has ever heard of them. Versus this, but like the Bengals or the Reds or the Yankees are still relevant for everybody at a similar level as they always have been. And I find that very interesting that sports is sort of the last bastion of a shared culture, watching together a Sunday night football or Monday night football game or a big playoff game and whatever sport you want, that shared culture still.
Which I am doing right now in solidarity with Evan. I'm watching to see if Justin Jefferson, see if he can win his fantasy matchup right there.
That reminds me, I have the Vikings defense. I'm up by a healthy amount, so
nice.
Shouldn't be an issue.
Well, Grayson, you missed a hell of a game, and I say that it was the kind of game that was infuriating to be at as a fan. Because it felt like here we go again until it wasn't. And then it was here we go again until it wasn't.
Right.
Kevin, you asked the question originally, we want to apologize for any takes we made. And I'm a forward-looking individual. I don't look back. I prefer to always move forward. It's always about the next take. It's not about the last take.
I like that.
If you focus on the last take, that's how you truly become stuck. You become a one-trick pony at that point. You've always got to be evolving your takes. And a take is a living thing. It doesn't just sit statically on a recording. If you look at it that way, you may be inclined to believe certain people don't know what they're talking about, and we can't have that. No. So if you recall, what we talked about or what I talked about on the show last week, the Thursday show, was that they had 2 weeks off during this international break. Most of the new pieces had gotten in at some point during that 2 weeks or were already in. And the question was, and we'd heard, as the week went on, there was comments that appeared from Pat Noonan's media availability that Carter and Louro and others reported on, that the team had focused on where there were deficiencies, and that was in creating chances and goal scoring chances and doing more to be more dynamic as an offense. And what we said at the time was like, yeah, that sounds great. They need to sort of show their work a little bit with that. And it needs to be better. It needs to come out not being flat. Now, history would have told us that, we've heard this sort of stories before, like, oh, we're using this time to work on this. And it just, usually ends up looking kind of the same. In this match, it did not look the same. And now you always wonder, like, how much of that is matchup specific, how they match up with Nashville. They've played Nashville well in the past.
Yeah.
Noonan seems to match up well against BJ Callahan since he's been the Nashville coach. But a lot of the things we complained about over this, like, not even complained about, but we noticed over the last couple of weeks, the stagnant patterns of play, the inability to move forward, to advance the ball, to get into dangerous scoring opportunities, they did fairly consistently throughout the entire match. And if they had ended up losing or drawing, you would have said that, well, that's all well and good, but they didn't produce a result. By scoring 2 goals, it kind of like reframes a lot of what happened in the first half and the first part of the game of they were getting dangerous chances, they were getting dangerous looks, and they finally broke through.
Yeah.
And that's not been the case for several weeks with this team. So from that standpoint, we were wondering what it would look like, and it looked a lot better.
It really did. And I totally understand what you mean by, watching the game in the moment of the game. It's so frustrating to see that many, opportunities come and go without the ball hitting the back of the net. And I think the terrible moral victory that we could have taken from this, had this been a draw, either 0-0 or 1-1, is what it was looking like for most of the night. It was, well, at least they're finally dominating in the sense that they are getting lots of opportunities. And that is true. If that game ends in a tie, that was still going to be the case. And that is something that we had not seen over the last couple of matches in league play. And we were finally starting to see it. And what was nice was, too, those opportunities were coming from the same types of plays. They were counterattacks where our big strikers were running at their back line, forcing them to sort of defend while running backwards, which is great. Denke has a nearly identical opportunity as Brenner does before Brenner scores the first one. It works much the same way. You love to see that. You love to see the crosses that Marksuk and Orishana were putting in all night. There were similar headed opportunities or cutback opportunities that were happening throughout the night, which sure should have led to some easy goals that were not goals, but you like to see repeatable opportunities to get quote unquote easy goals. And I think even without the win, there is enough in this game to have taken some confidence away from, but they also got the win. So now we get to reignite Shield conversations, and we get to really dwell on where this team is and where it's going. Grayson, how do you view this?
I think it's a good win for sure. Nashville's a good team, and we saw some of the fix your lid in the offense that we've been waiting to see. Brenner's goal was so
World
tight.
World class.
Like, it's, I don't want to say it's like run of the mill for him, but it is the kind of thing, right, that got him a lot of goals in 22 for us and got him the move to Italy in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Like, he hasn't lost it.
Yeah.
He doesn't, like, he's still the player that we had before, I guess, is what that goal made me think. And then, Brenner missed a sitter. Denke had some opportunities to put it away, but like, you are gonna miss shots.
Yes.
Like this is why these shots aren't like 1.0 xG.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, like, I want them to finish their chances. Absolutely.
Sure.
Right. But my big complaint for a lot of the season is that they were not generating chances.
There weren't shots to miss. And so every miss is worth more in that sense.
And so like keep generating these chances and you'll put some away.
Yeah.
You know, they did leave it late this game. Nashville probably has a couple of opportunities that they would like back. Right. So it's not like it wasn't like a perfect
not as many
steamroll.
Not as many as you would think on the Nashville side. Like in terms of the number of chances that other teams have created against FC Cincinnati during this like lull, I think Nashville created fewer of those chances in this game.
Yeah, so like Mukhtar had one at like the in like the 7th minute.
Yeah, we put Miazga on absolute roller skates.
Just that was a tough look.
Surridge had that opportunity late in the first half where he had the whole channel behind the right wing back all to himself, and got a nice look and just put the shot wide. In like whatever the other team's gonna get chances too. I don't. In Nashville also is on like they've like I think won one of the last 6 with 5 losses in that stretch. BJ Callahan,
very weird run. Yeah.
BJ Callahan did say before the game that some of his choices were going to be influenced by the fact that they have a Open Cup semifinal on Tuesday. Although, like, they put out a strong team, so
yeah,
take that with a grain of salt, probably.
And had an injury 15 minutes in, which was not what they were planning to do. So
yeah. But regardless of all those like caveats or whatever, this is a win that is well deserved, and you feel good about it.
Yeah.
And it's a team where, we've said it, they haven't been like all that good as a team most of the year. They have really good players and they get bailed out by the fact that they have really good players. But at any point in time, if, they turn it on or, play more, I guess, cohesively or play more with like a consistent offensive tactical scheme that they're executing, the team becomes scary. And this isn't the game like that where they become president, right?
Right.
But it's a step along the way.
Right.
Yeah.
And then my last takeaway was just sometimes you also just need like a mental get right game,
mm-hmm.
and however you get it is great,
Yeah.
And if there was, and I really do think that best case scenario, there was a lot of mental behind the ways that they've struggled, particularly recently. And if the team, and if there's like if there has been a big mental aspect to it, that would be, I think, like the most optimistic reason for the struggles, because if that is removed, right?
Yeah.
They could fly.
Right. Yeah. I what's the old line that like I haven't failed, I've just invented 1,000 ways that it doesn't work kind of thing.
Right.
It very much felt like during this run that there just was, it was a team that was struggling with writer's block to a certain extent, where, there's Justin Jefferson. Evan's going to love that. They get a timeout in time. Yeah, they'll be all right. So this was a team that was struggling creatively. It was struggling with writer's block. It was struggling to find sort of an offensive identity that worked. And it's a punch counter punch league where the team does things that it thinks are good. The rest of the league adjusts to it, and you have to figure out the way to adjust to the adjustment. And for better or worse, this team kind of had run out of, ideas, and what they were trying wasn't working. And so to Grayson's point, I think it was important that they saw something work for a change.
Yeah.
Like they needed to get out there and see something that gives them the confidence that they have the ability to do this in the future. They needed to see the ball hit the back of the net. And, at the end of the game, they deserved to win in terms of they generated the balance of the better chances. They were the better team on average. It turns out they're probably lucky to win just because of the circumstances that the last goal was scored in.
Yeah.
But, it's a you make your own luck type of situation. And no one thinks that they were undeserved in the way that it worked, because the patterns that they used and they built to get there were repeatable, and they were doing the things to win the game we'd been asking for forever. Like, can you pour it on at the end of a game and put a team under siege when you're the home team and you're chasing a result?
Yeah.
They did that.
Been a long time since we saw that.
They did that. And can you generate scoring opportunities late in a game? It'd been a while since they'd done that. They did that. Can you score a goal at the death, and can you steal one? What was the last time that happened? Brandon Vasquez in Minnesota like 3 or 4 years ago?
That's what I always think of. I'm sure it's happened since then, but
maybe.
Yes.
Or Lucho on that one goal where they scored at the very end.
Against Philly.
This is my city, until it wasn't his city.
3 months, 4 months later.
So what I liked in this game, I liked that when you look at what this team is doing offensively, it really looks like they spent the 2 weeks and they were able to get Brenner fully integrated into this offense. And there appears to be a real chemistry forming between him and Evander that isn't just they speak the same language and come from the same country.
Yeah.
And that's good. But you also saw Orishano developing some of that and being dangerous. And when Kevin Denke came in, the song really started playing in a way that I think is very repeatable. But we should probably start with the lineup, Kevin. What do we have on this one?
Yeah, so the lineup was interesting, to say the least. In goal was our main man, Evan, of course. You had Engel, Miazga, and Robinson as your back line. Orishano, the left wing back, and Mark Zook, the right wing back. Buka and Anunga in that defensive midfield with Evander ahead of them. Brenner up top with Ayub Jabari making the start up top over Kevin Denke. I'll be honest, I was really mad about that when I saw that. And then it was pointed out to me that Denke got back into town 2 days ago. Makes a little more sense, but man, it was tough to see at first.
So I guess my first question is, so the Denke thing, it makes sense. Like you think to yourself, if it's me, this is why I don't manage a soccer team. I'm right. Like, you're a $17 million player. Get out there and figure it out. I don't care if you're tired. Like, have a Red Bull, or not a Red Bull, have a Monster. For me, the more interesting part of this lineup is Mark Zook at the wing back.
Yeah.
Because it really feels like we have an open U22 spot. We can get this guy on loan. I don't know that do we have a purchase option on him?
We have a cash for option on him. Yes.
Okay. So we have a cash for option on him. It feels like, of all the U22s, because we're going to have to lose one on the 3DP model, it feels very much like he is the most likely to not be back next year.
Mm-hmm.
And every indication I thought was out there was that was going to be Ender Nshadike's job to play out there on the right wing back when DeAndre Yedlin got traded. 2 starts for Mark Zook already. I think he equates himself pretty well in this game. Like, he got into some dangerous spaces. He made some dangerous movements. He made himself available. The team does not like to play down the right-hand side, so there's going to be limited opportunities anyway. But I am fascinated that Mark Zook has seemingly become the starting right wing back on this team.
He's got, I thought that he brings a nice delivery of the ball.
Yes.
From the right to the game. I wouldn't, he wasn't, blowing me away necessarily with his play overall, but like he put in some nice balls. He put in balls that like could have found guys and did find guys, right?
Yeah.
So he could have generated some goal scoring opportunities there, and it's not something that I think this team has had much of, especially on the right this year at all.
Yeah.
And my only critique on the crossing was there was like one or two times where I thought an early cross was there and then he hesitated and put the ball in a little late. And by that time the defense had the spot covered. But other than that, like that was the main thing for Mark Zook for me. And that's something I think the team has been missing.
Yes.
And so I like to see it.
Yeah, his crossing was very good. According to FOTMob, he put in 5 crosses, one of which was accurate, versus Orishano, who put in 8 crosses, none of which were accurate. This
That's
is
false.
using
I don't
FOTMob's.
think that's right.
That's absolutely false, because Orishano puts in the cross that Brenner skies in the first half. I'm fairly certain that was like on a tee for a goal.
I don't know what they're counting necessarily as a cross, if it has to be in the air or if it's allowed to travel on the ground. But that volume of crosses we have not seen from. We did not see a volume of good crosses from Yedlin in that position. I think Mark Zook offers quite a bit in that sense. He did not appear to be a defensive liability out there. I thought he worked out well. Echenike, I think, is an interesting change of pace player in that position, and potentially up top, depending on what the game may require. Maybe there's a situation where we're winning by 2 or 3 goals and they want somebody to go up there and just harass and press, and he's very fast. And maybe you put him on instead of Denke up top.
I wonder
if you're protecting a lead or something like that. What I think is interesting, and I don't know how much this means of anything, if you look at the FC Cincinnati website or the app specifically, Echenike is an attacker there, not a defender, not a midfielder where I think you would expect to see a wingback. I don't know if you read into that at all, but yeah, I did think it was interesting that Mark Zook was sort of a last second addition and was all of a sudden like a kind of important starter.
It's a little bit of a Yamil Assad energy going on right now, where it's like, didn't see this, but it appears to be working.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with your take, Kevin, that it feels, just by watching how this has gone on, and there may be another reason for it that we're not privy to, whether it's fitness or whether it's working into the system.
Matchup,
Yeah, it does feel like they view Echenike as that he is most effective as the game goes on, where his burst has more impact against either, a tired defense or, not for nothing, when teams substitute, they usually aren't substituting their best players on.
Right.
And so, who do you want to match up against, either a tired team or their reserves? Give me the fastest guy that we've got and let him go cause problems. And in this case, that's what happened, and he's the guy who ultimately starts the run that wins the game. So it's hard to. It's like I want to see Echenike out there more, because he is like electricity in soccer cleats when he moves around. Hard to argue with the substitution pattern with how it worked out with the game. Second question: Ayoub Jabari.
Yeah,
he's big.
He's very big.
He is, we'll say, not the strongest pedigree of background where they got him from. French second division.
You don't read the back of his baseball card and think, my God, he must be starting.
What is it? Ligue 2?
Ligue 2. Yeah. Where he was not necessarily a prolific goal scorer. So, yeah.
What do we read that he's playing over Kai Kamara in that position? Because it would feel to me intuitive that Kai Kamara would be there. I didn't even see if Kai was available yesterday.
He was on the bench. But also,
I know he traveled internationally. I don't know when he got back. I know what Pat Noonan said afterwards is that he said that or I think maybe before the game on the radio hit that he does with Tommy G. I don't know where he said this, but he said at some point that he liked the way that Jabari, Brenner, and Evander were able to train consistently together during the 2-week window. And that he opted for the fact that there was consistency there and they'd looked really good in practice together. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's fine. I would have opted maybe to play Kai Kamara there just because he's been around this league. He's been around this team. And if you're looking for a big hold up play guy, he would probably be my first choice. I didn't think Jabari looked bad by any stretch of the imagination. He had a couple of chances you would want a striker to do a little better with maybe. And Pat seemed pretty critical, actually, of his hold-up play in the press conference. It's one of the rare instances where I've heard Pat express disappointment with a player specifically.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we're going to be seeing much more of Mr. Jabari there in a starting role based on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was not a fan of the move, but, you know, I guess I can't also fault the fact that we wanted this team to use the 2-week break to work together, and they put the players out there that were using the 2-week break to work together.
That were working together. It makes sense. You also, I mean, you could have potentially put Dado there, but it's a different.
We don't do that.
We don't play Dado, of course.
We don't do that here.
And granted, he's a different type of player. So obviously, the Kai Kamara comparison makes sense there. I also think too, he's on loan. He's not a U22. There's a degree of like, you gotta see what you have in him. Like,
it's a wild thing to do when you're like when you haven't won a match at home in like 4 matches and you're trying desperately to stay on the right side of the home playoff line.
I mean, if you trust him enough to play, I mean, and that's part of it too, right? Like they obviously trusted him up to a point, and then you think, well, all right, well, we like him. He looks good in training. He's been training with these guys. Let's see what we got. You don't want to, you wouldn't want to have invested the money, the resources, and potentially more to keep him on, and for him to have like not contributed at all. That's just a waste of everybody's time. So right. I absolutely think it makes sense to give it a shot. I thought he did fine. I thought he had a couple of clever moments that didn't actually turn into anything. There was one where the center back was fielding like a tough ball, and it really looked like they were about to head it back to the goalkeeper from like way far out. We're talking like 40, 45 yards out. And Jabari starts to run to intercept that pass. The pass never comes though. So it doesn't come into anything, but you very easily could have seen that center back try to head the ball or kick the ball back to the goalkeeper, and he would have intercepted that and been in on goal 1-on-1, and it would have been incredible. So I love that. I love that he's doing little things like that are pretty clever, smart things. I also just want to point this out. Jabari is 24, 25 years old, not eligible for U22. Mark Zook is 21. He's obviously a U22 player, is on loan. There is no rule preventing you from having other players under the age of 22 on the roster. You just don't get the free cap space. So it's very possible Mark Zook plays his way into an actual job on this team. Don't think that he absolutely cannot come back because we don't have any space for him.
The cash for raises an obstacle, right? You probably have to negotiate some other arrangement with Salt Lake, because obviously the benefit of the U22 is you don't have to take their transfer fee into account.
Right.
And they get the limited budget hit. I don't know off the top of my head the transfer fees for the other U22s. I do wonder, I guess, if one of them has a low enough salary and transfer fee that you could buy them down.
Yeah.
But I'd have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
And
also,
we don't have salary information on anybody, on any of them, except, well, we have Mark Zook's salary from Salt Lake. But we have Flores' salary, but I don't think we have any salary information right now on Echenike or Gidi. Yeah.
Gidi. Yeah. Or Jabari. Also, just throwing it out there, we haven't seen Flores in forever. I don't know if he's necessarily in the plans for next year. So Something.
I think we paid outright for him though, so I think we've already.
Yeah,
we
already
did,
bought him.
but you know, the team has shown that they're not shy about, you know, finding loan destinations for a U22 who isn't in their immediate plans. But I'm not ready to draw any conclusions about what their plans for Flores are. I mean, he's a very young center back, and
on a team that's going to need probably some young talent to perform next year, given the roster and the salary considerations.
And ideally, not a whole roster of new center backs. You'd need like some continuity there, sure.
So first half, they generate a lot of chances. Evan plays very well in the first half, keeps him in the game in the first half, because there were a few chances that Nashville had that. Look, it's a game where if they would have gone down early, I don't know that the team was in the mental state or had the mentals to come back in a game like this. I think it was tremendously important that they got the first goal in this game.
I had the same thought. Yeah.
That just from the idea that like it's a tense environment, and people have commented on this before, like players have commented on this, and I don't know what you do about it because I'm sitting there losing my mind in this game. Like I almost broke a chair punching it, like just frustration at how many chances they missed. But it's a nervous energy in the building, and the players have commented that you can feel the nervous energy that the crowd has. And with every one of these chances they miss, it just feels more and more like none of them are ever going to hit. And so I do think that Evan's play and the defense's play in that first half was instrumental in just keeping this team mentally available to win this game. Because if Nashville had scored, this would have turned into the ugliest, dirtiest foul fest and just dilatory behavior extravaganza, killing off the clock. They didn't have to do that. And not for nothing, the defense overall I thought was pretty good. There were some horror show defending moments in this game from a couple of players that are usually way better than this, and they got bailed out a couple of times by Evan and some incredible individual play by other players running back and cover. And it was mistakes from guys you don't usually see mistakes. You talked about Hani Mukhtar putting Miazga on absolute roller skates in the first half, where it's like he got beaten badly, which that usually doesn't happen to Matt. If he's going to lose, he's going to lose a foot race these days. He's usually not going to get like juked out of his shoes. The play we were joking about with Evan, like Anunga passes directly to a guy to take a absolute blast at the goal from the top of the 18-yard box. They leave, I think it was Surridge. They leave wide open for a chance that Evan has to go to ground to stop. And any one of those going in before we had scored, I think would have cooked the team last night where it was.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt the same way. I also, Chief, I gotta make sure I check myself, because like I am personally rooting for Evan so much that like I could never tell like, oh, he's having a great game, or if it's just like, oh, my sweet baby boy can do absolutely no wrong. He's gonna have a terrible game, and I'm gonna be like, damn, he looked really good that game.
Right. No, I had to say this to somebody else I was talking to on like a group thread. I was like, I like Evan personally. I thought Evan was having a phenomenal game. Like,
right.
We gassed him up for it in the interview. The outlet pass he made, sublime. His distribution is very, very good, and it was helpful last night. The other thing that like came to mind for me, and I want to know where you guys are at on this. And this is not a knock on him, so don't read it this way.
Yeah.
Is Brenner a better fit for this offense than Kevin Denke?
Oh, jeez.
I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready to go there.
I'm not ready to go there either, but like I'm on watch for it right now. And here's why I'm not ready. Here's why I'm not ready to go there on this. They kind of need each other in this way. Is that if you go back and you watch both of the goals in this game, both of the goals in this game come in very large part because Kevin Denke is drawing defenders away.
Yes.
And that it was kind of like what our hope was when Brenner came back on this magical redemption tour, is that now it's not two guys running with Brenner. It's one guy running with Brenner and two guys going after Kevin Denke. And in both Brenner's goal and in Evander's goal that wins the game, the space is opened by Kevin Denke just drawing people in like a gravitational force.
Yeah.
So I don't, it's weird. I don't know if he's a perfect fit for just this way that like Kevin allows him to play. And I don't know how Kevin feels about this, that like, congratulations, you're the $17 million decoy for the season. I don't know. It was very interesting to me watching that, like, most of the best moments in this game were things Brenner was doing. He created the best scoring opportunity in the first half off the cross from Orishano. His goal, one touch, and to control off just an absolute seeing eye pass from Evander and back into the net. And he was just goal dangerous all night. He was in good spaces all night. He was active back and forth around the field. I don't know. I'm on the lookout for it now. As far as how the fit for the offense goes.
Yeah, I don't think it's any coincidence that the goals come after Denke is on the field, though. Like, Denke is a better player, is one of the better players to play in Major League Soccer. And I think this just highlights the lack of a threatening, I don't want to say competent, but like threatening second striker alongside Kevin Denke that defenses have to worry about. Because previously it would be, Kai Kamara out there, Kevin Denke getting absolutely swarmed by the defense, and Kai or Santos being asked to win the game because the other guy's been marked out, or Evander to not even try either of them and to shoot from distance. Whereas now there's enough of a threat that if you can get the ball into the box, there's multiple guys in there that can punish you for giving them, a couple of feet of space. And so that's what we're seeing. And really what I want to see is an entire game of Evander, Denke, and Brenner, because that is what we need to see more of, and that is amazing.
It's interesting. I don't know. Yeah. That was the biggest takeaway for me was that it was very clear that the 2 weeks off, getting Brenner integrated into the offense made a very big difference with him specifically, because he looked good in that first game back that he had.
Yeah.
But it looked like a guy that now understood what his teammates wanted him to do and what his teammates were trying to do with him. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Luca Orishano looked a lot better in this game too. I think this was one of the first games where he was trying to do something different besides cut in.
Yeah.
On every opportunity. He got down to the end line a few times, which I thought was just been begging for him to do. Just take someone on with your speed and cut the ball back, which he did a couple of times, and it almost produced goals, I think, every time he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what it helps too with Orishano is that Marksuk is an actual threat on offense, which is not what Yedlin was. And so, we saw the sort of like horseshoe of death, but it just goes really far up on Orishano's side. Well, now defenses have to be honest and be aware that the threat can come from both sides, and they have to know that when the ball switches fields, that is an actual offensive threatening moment. It's not just going to live with Yedlin for a little bit and then come right back, or live with whoever and just come right back. And I think that is an important aspect to this. And again, where we saw this team in 2023 look its best is when it looked threatening enough, or was, enough of a threat with Arias and Barrial being potential outlets on either side. So yeah, I think that this is shaping up to look good. There's a lot of really good lessons to learn from this.
They countered too in this game.
Yeah.
Which is shocking to me. Like
competently.
I wasn't bullshitting. I honestly think that counter that Evan started, I can't remember the last time I saw this team go with numbers up the field and try to beat a defense from getting back into shape. It's such an effect. Like every MLS team but us does this multiple times per game, where we are desperate so often to pull the ball back and get into our passing sequences versus, I don't know, man, there's a lot of players in this league that are in MLS for a reason. Just run at them and see what happens. Put some pressure on them, force them to make a decision or make an athletic play. And we did it 2 or 3 times in this game. And I'm like, why are we not doing this all the time? We have some horses on this team that are deadly moving at attack speed. Like go and get them the ball. Like the first goal that Brenner scores, it's off a break. It's a turnover and it's a direct break to goal. They don't hold the ball back. They don't look for better positioning. Evander threads a ball through and it's like, yes, Christ, like don't let them square up to goal and watch you move the ball around. Force them to defend while they're running back towards their own goal and they're not in triple threat position where it's harder to move when you're running. It's harder to adjust. It's harder to stick your foot out and block a ball when you're running.
Yeah.
More of that.
I think, I mean, I agree with you. I was listening to Pat Noonan's post-game comments about how they played, with the ball and offensively. And I really think that he doesn't want the team to do a lot of fast counters. Like, I think he wants maybe he thinks that this is definitely some speculation, but it feels like he thinks that a game where you play like you're describing, right? Where you're just we're just going to run right at the defenders, that creates more chaos and creates more of a high variance game because, you could give the ball away and then the other team can counter and go. And I think it just feels like the way that this team is set up that they want to prioritize 1, defensive stability, and 2, patience with the ball. And he's always talking about with the offense, he's talking about, finding the right pass in the final third, decision making in the final third, right? Not like we need to be quicker.
Right.
We
need to have more better instincts. Yeah.
I think in his ideal world, we'd have a very stable defensive setup, which by and large we do.
Yeah.
Generally we do. And we're smart and careful with the ball. And that will create fewer high variance moments and allow our talent to kind of be the difference maker in the game. Like the offensive difference makers that we have would then be able to, in a game that is otherwise stable, would be able to find those find those special moments and get it done. And
I just disagree. I just disagree.
I think the most dangerous this team has ever looked under Pat Noonan has been when they were doing a lot of counterattacks. That when they won the ball in transition, they would just go. And you had Lucho, you had Barreal, you had Brenner, you had Vasquez, right?
But that's what we've got now, and that's
but we have the players for it. But it's not having the players. It's not doing it.
Right.
But my problem is, and where I don't get it, and maybe I somebody smarter than me at this sport will have to explain it to me, is this idea of that we're not a physical team. Like there's not a lot of guys on this team that are going to muscle people for a ball or fight through a tackle to do something. We're not an off-road vehicle. We're sports cars. Like we're dudes that run, that are technical, that are clinical when it comes to finishing. And you've seen what teams do when we get into our passing progressions and our passing sequences. They just foul us. They get physical and they muscle guys off the ball. And how do you combat that? You run. Yeah. You're quicker. you don't give them the opportunity to make that foul because you're running by them and you're moving by them at speed. Like for the life of me, I understand wanting to be solid, consistent. I understand that a countering offense it's boom bust to a certain extent because number one, you don't really control when you get your opportunities. They come to you and you have to make the most of them. And it's hard to be in control at any moment. But when you can run at a team with Brenner, Evander, Kevin Denke, Luca Orishano, like when you've got those kind of guys, even Pavel can snipe off a shot from distance and run. Like you've got so much talent running at goal. Who do you cover on a run like that? And we saw in this that, you have to go with Kevin Denke and you leave Brenner with a passing outlet where it's one touch, second touch, and it's in the goal. Like I'm going with that every time. Like that's right. To me, that's the way forward for this team. That's the blueprint.
That's what I think we should be trying to do. Yeah. Is just creating as many opportunities where the defense has to decide, am I going to prioritize shutting down Denke? Or am I going to prioritize shutting down Brenner? Right. And I don't know. I don't really care how we get there, but creating as many of those moments as possible is what we want to see.
And Grayson, like the way you laid that out was such a perfect explanation for like why this team should be throwing everything at other teams. Is we have a solid, cohesive defensive identity, and the back line is chock full of talent that it allows the team to sell out and attack, because you should be able to take on any counterattack that comes back its way. When Evander scores the game winner, so when he kicks the ball, there are 5 FC Cincinnati players in the box, and there are 3 within a couple of yards of the box outside of it. That's 8 players that have absolutely crashed on this goal. And that leaves just essentially your back line back to defend. It was fine. It worked well when chasing a goal in this game, and obviously game state matters, but also Nashville needed a win just as desperate as we did in this game. And the defense allowed a platform to do that. And yeah, when you have the guys in the box are like Brenner, Denke, Evander, Echenique, and Buka with I think it's Orishano and Alvis Powell right outside the box. Like, this team is going to rip shots. They are going to outpass you. They are clever guys. You do not want the ball at any of those guys' feet if you're the defense. Like, this is the dream setup, and the defense allows this to happen. Embrace running. Embrace it.
Fast. Play fast. It's a fast league.
Yes.
And there's a time and place to slow it down. There's a time and place to possess. This team has the talent to score in a number of different ways. I agree with you, Grayson. I don't think Pat Noonan likes playing this way. But taking that club out of your bag, I don't know. I think it's almost like playing in football. Every so often you got to take a deep shot to keep the defense honest. Like you got to throw the ball deep. Every so often, just make them think about it. They got to make them think about a counterattack every so often. Like you gotta let them know you're willing to snipe at them on a moment's notice, just to put a little bit of pressure on some of these guys to feel like I have to make the perfect pass, because if I don't make the perfect pass, it's going to be we're going to be picking the ball out of the back of the net going the other way with all the talent that they're going to throw at somebody.
I used to be troubled by how often it felt like Evander would get the ball kind of in open space in the middle of the pitch and would like look forward like for a second and then immediately like turn around right and play a pass behind him. And I think it was just like, I was like, well, Lucha would just take the ball there. Right. That's what was in my head. And I have come around to the idea that it's not Evander, it's not necessarily Evander not wanting to just push it. It's that he's following instruction.
Yeah.
Whereas the previous player, instructions were more like suggestions to a certain extent. Like, I have noted your suggestion that we move backwards, goals that way. I'll let you know what happens when we get there.
Both are successful though, which is very funny.
Yeah.
That they both have seen and did see success. Nashville does score a goal in this game, Chief.
Horror defending. Like
it's bad defending. It's right after Teenage Hadabi is subbed into the game. Him and Angle are wildly out of position. We've got two guys chasing the same space, the same player.
You've got three guys.
Yeah,
but certainly three players, and
leaving the golden boot.
Yeah.
Favorite by himself.
Not only open, but on a wide open net should the ball find its way through three of our defenders. And it does. It does very cleanly. And
Evan still almost gets back and makes the save. Like
he gets a hand on it.
The entire goal available to Surridge. You're just not going to stop the golden boot winner in that sort of a situation unless he allows you to stop him. He's that wide open right there. And it's not the best look right there. I'll give a little bit of grace to the team in the fact that Miazga had just checked out hurt. I don't think we're going to have an update on what his status is until when you're listening to this on Monday. I believe they said they were going to get, or at least we were going to hear something. I bet they probably already have something, an idea of what his situation is right now. But yeah, it was confusion reigns supreme. It's deflating in the moment because you sit there and you think, here we go again.
Yeah.
All the good this team had done. You would have taken a 1-0 win in that moment right there. I think everybody would have taken the 1-0 win just with how things had gone. Just being able to walk out of the building happy.
Yeah.
For a change, like being able to say, I will go get another beer in the First Financial Club afterwards. I'll enjoy a half price drink here because I don't want to get out of this place, this den of depression as soon as possible. That was the overarching goal, and you felt like they might have spit the bit there, but hats off. They kept pushing, and I think Pat pushed a lot of the right buttons to down the stretch on this. Ender Echenike was absolutely a good play in this situation. And Kevin, I am pleased to report I kept my eyes open. Sammy, we learned he likes to go by Sammy. Sammy Geedy is in fact real.
It's alive and well.
Birds may not be real, but Sammy Geedy is in fact an actual living person playing soccer for FC Cincinnati.
Yeah. Look at that. And he was fine. He's coming in late into the game. I had one terrible giveaway, but otherwise,
everybody gets one.
According to FOTMob, that was his only inaccurate pass. So, hey, hats off to you, bud. But yeah, I'm excited to see where he goes. He is somebody that, we talked to the European scout about, seems to profile very similarly to Buka. If we can get a sort of Buka Junior on this team, I think that would be
Buka
really
Juniors.
Buka Juniors.
Grayson spit that one out first.
There's a lot to like there. So really, really hoping he continues to grow and develop. It was really good to see him out on the field. I thought overall, the subs made sense. Obviously, you don't want to see Miazga go down. I thought Powell was an interesting sub in the moment, but he ended up being very good and relied on to keep the ball in Nashville's half during the latter moments.
I had a friend who's bad at golf, and he used to refer to his hybrid club. It's like, I'm going to hit my hybrid because I need a combination of a number of things to go right on this shot. I need a hybrid of good options. Alvis Powell kind of feels like that like you throw Alvis Powell on where it's like, I need something to happen. I'm not exactly sure what, but I feel like whatever I need to happen, it is more likely to happen with Alvis Powell on the field than not. So I think I'm just going to start referring to him as Mr. Action, like just something's going on when Alvis is on the field.
Action Powell.
Yeah. And so in that sense, like somebody's like, why are we bringing Powell into this game? It's like, I don't know. We just need something to happen. And he's a make something happen kind of guy.
Yeah, we gotta change he's like a human rally cap. It's just like, we need something different.
Or he's a dude where like, you know, he's asking for the aux cord because this party's lame.
Yeah.
And like, no, I got this, man. We're going to listen to my music for a little bit. And
bust out we're all
just dancing. We're all just dancing and vibing to Elvis Powell's playlist whenever he comes into a game.
I love it, man. This was a great game. This was a fun one to at the Whistle. I'll
tell you what, too. The stadium got loud for that ender goal. That's about as loud as I have heard TQL Stadium get in a minute. Like it was, Evander goal. You could hear on the broadcast too the sudden change in volume. Like watching back on the highlight, like a little bit of catharsis in that moment from a fan base.
Yeah, that like you can believe, you can have hopes and dreams. You don't have to leave disappointed.
It's like in the Rebel Moon Part 2 director's cut when the ship's engine creature sacrifices herself to hurt the and there's this moment, you know,
that you would never know watching
release.
You would never know watching
movie.
Rebel Moon Part 2 because they felt the need to hide that content behind a paywall.
They were like, we're gonna put out something terrible first.
And if you're interested as to why this is so bad, you can watch this thing here. And it's like, I thought it sucked, man. I don't want to watch any more of this.
Netflix is going to release the movie that Netflix was too scared to let you see.
Right. We were worried it was too long for theaters. So we didn't release it in theaters and we still cut it down for home streaming. It's like, my man, you can release a 6-hour movie on streaming. It's just, you're not paying by the gigabyte here. It's all right.
Right. You're Netflix. Release a 24-hour movie. Come on.
I Show Speed, the movie.
Right. Seriously. Why not? There's literally nothing stopping you. People pause and resume movies all the time.
Yeah, it's you don't have to worry about doing the do you remember like when that the Bengals were on Hard Knocks and Carson Palmer's brother had invented the app that told you when to take a leak at the movies?
Oh, yeah.
And he was promoting his brother's app on the show. Where it's like it'll buzz in your pocket and let you know that someone has watched this movie and you're not going to miss anything for the next 3 minutes, and it'll summarize what
you get a little recap, the
what
little
useless piece
conversation.
of dialogue. Yeah.
That's good.
Last observation, since I know that Grayson wasn't at the game. Interesting file it away note, just because I'm very invested in the Brenner story now, just because it feels like this needs to have some sort of there needs to be like, if we are watching Brenner the movie, which it sometimes does feel like we're watching Brenner the movie, and like FC Cincinnati is just a cast member in Brenner the movie.
We have been for years. Yes.
Right. Brenner himself might have thought the world was watching Brenner the movie back when he was here originally. And that might have contributed to some of the issues that we all experienced. I'm now very invested in the Brenner the movie having a happy ending where Brenner like hoists MLS Cup and then all of a sudden it fades to credits, which if that is in fact the case, you know, I always worry about simulation theory if we're all living in a simulation, because like that means the simulation might end at some point and we all just like wink out of existence.
Yeah.
When they're like, we're done playing this simulation, I'm going to go play Call of Duty instead. And then we all just,
The Sims is boring. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So if Brenner the movie is truly the end of the simulation, we're going to hoist MLS Cup and it's all just going to fade to black for all of us. Like it's the end of The Sopranos.
Right.
I'm
in.
Cool. I'm in.
Finally.
Yeah, no, this is finally the sweet release. I note this because at the end of the match, Brenner takes off for the Bailey, runs directly to the Bailey, gives his jersey away to someone in the crowd. I don't know.
Who is in the Discord, by the way.
There we go. One of the 12s. Love that. Gives his jersey to one of the 12s and then is like posing for pictures with the fans, jumping the barricade to like just take selfies and take photos with people in the crowd.
So
I don't know, man. My man came back fully invested in whatever's going on here, and I am believing the hell out of the lie, and that's all I want in life is to believe the lie.
I love it. Yeah, no, he's here to win trophies. He's here to not collect a paycheck. He obviously took a pay cut.
He's definitely collecting a paycheck. Let's not get it twisted here, Brennerstone.
But he took a pay cut to make it work. That is in all of the available reporting. I love it. I should also note when he scores his goal, his celebration, he rips off the shirt. He
Looks pretty good.
Almost rips off his shorts though. Watch that again. He has an instinct to rip the shorts off.
Yeah, my wife was noting this when I was watching the highlights again today. She was like, "He's about to take his pants off." I was like, "No, he's not." And then I looked and I was like, he's about to take his pants off right here. Which
women probably have like a fine-tuned instinct whenever a man, the signs when a man might take his pants off.
The flag is immediately
like when you have to like look out for like men, you like learn different things than you do like when you are a man.
Yeah, that is. I didn't think about that at the time. That is male privilege that I just don't ever concern myself with someone about to take their pants off. Usually, it's kind of an exciting moment in my life.
And if they do, it's nothing to do with me.
No,
it's none of my business.
No, it's you choose. You live your life, man. If I can help, let me know.
Or don't.
Don't let me know. Depending on the circumstances.
Just real quick. I don't know what just happened there, but Zoom just sent me a pop-up that says, "Hey, you might have switched to a different language. Please update it so we can provide a better quality." And it suggests that we might have just been speaking Ukrainian just now. I don't know what
if
that's
the NSA
about.
if the NSA is listening right now, what's up?
Zoom thinks we are Ukrainian. The feds are listening in.
What's up, man?
Probably
I had nothing to do with it.
Probably a good time to transition to a little table talk. I said, don't rule out a shield race. We are 2 points behind the leaders in Philadelphia. We are 1 point behind San
Philadelphia
Diego.
Got waxed last night.
7-0.
My God.
Now, similarly to Nashville, they play in that same Open Cup semifinal. They were looking ahead. They rotated a little bit. Alejandro Bedoya was their right back in that game and got absolutely torched. Probably personally responsible for 3 or 4 of those goals.
Yeah, he posted on Twitter how ashamed he was of,
it was
of
a
how
bad
they
look.
performed. And which, like, I don't know. Bedoya, I like Bedoya. I hope he's not getting too much.
Yeah, I
hope he's not getting too much hate for whatever happened in that game. I didn't watch it.
I got a lot of time for Alejandro Bedoya. I'm a fan.
I watched the game. He shouldn't have been a right back. I don't know why they did that. Apparently they only did it one other time this year.
And never again.
But thankfully for us, it knocked Philadelphia's goal differential right back down to earth. So now they look mortal and they're within 2 points. That's another slip up from them and a win from us, and we would clear them.
San Diego also lost to Minnesota last night. They were losing, and then Minnesota just like right in their eye hole with straight Luca Orishano disrespect from the parking lot, which you just hate. You hate to see it happen to San Diego.
Absolutely rough. I also got a kick out of this too. Many people will have glanced over at the Columbus Crew score during certainly halftime and thought, "Oh my God, Columbus Crew were up 5-0 in the first half. Why can't we be like them?" The game ended 5-4, and if you look at all of the various stats, especially XG, Atlanta United should have won that game handily. So it was a wild game.
World's Game's going to be fun this week. Problem to keep your eye on. I don't think Charlotte's ever going to lose again.
So what's very fun is the top 6 teams in the Supporter Shield standings are exactly 1 point away from each other. So it's Philly on 57, San Diego on 56, us at 55, Minnesota at 54, Charlotte 53, Vancouver at 52. Vancouver has 2 games in hand on everybody. Worth noting there, if they won both of those, no reason to think they will, but if they did, they would be at 58, which would put them 1 point ahead of Philadelphia, but still keeping in our neat little pattern here. So interesting that it is all laid out this way. It's very, very tight. I'll throw out there, Nashville's at 50 points, 7 points off the leaders right now, probably with 4 or 5 games left. Feels too far, but we've obviously seen this change quite a bit. This is going to be a wild finish to the season with just 4 games remaining. Fun times.
This is crazy. Is you still have Columbus with
2
games in hand?
Yeah,
or 1 game with a game in hand. You have Orlando with a game in hand. Both of those would jump Nashville.
Yeah.
If they, win the game in hand. NYCFC with 2 games in hand.
Yeah. Could get
which
up
would
to
take
53.
them up to Charlotte.
Yeah.
If they won both those. Again, it's not really reasonable to assume everybody's going to win all their games in hand.
Yeah.
And Miami, 4 games in hand on 46 points. So if they won all of their games in hand, they'd get to 58.
Yeah, which would also put them first. Yeah.
Miami just lost and,
convincingly to Charlotte. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a fun little race to the finish line here. You'd certainly say the top 6 are certainly in this, with Vancouver having 2 games in hand. You got to keep an eye on Miami just because you never know what they're going to be able to pull off. And Nashville and Columbus aren't necessarily out of this, given how weird.
Miami's 11 points back. At this point, I'm not. Yeah. Miami's done. It would take the entire rest of the table collapsing to bring Miami back into this.
Here's another thing I think is interesting.
Yeah.
So last year, 40 points and 43 points were what got you into the Eastern Conference play-in game.
Okay.
Atlanta was 9th place with 40 points. Montreal was 8th place with 43 points. Chicago is in 9th place, sitting on 42.
Wow.
With 5 games to play. Miami is in 8th place, with, again, we talked about all the games in hand they have, with 46, with 8 games to play. The bottom of the playoffs this year is going to have a lot more points than it typically does.
Yeah, you can end up with
I think the Shield, it seems like the Shield winner is not going to be approaching 70, and the bottom is going to be well above 40 most likely.
Pushing
so
50,
there's a lot of compression in the playoff field this year in the East, and that means every series might be competitive.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a race to the finish line too, which it's all compressed where you could be going to decision day with multiple spots on the home field for the first leg of the playoffs up for grabs, just because it's going to be so tightly packed.
Yeah. Chief, you mentioned the Miami games in hand. Let me just read you the opponents they have to finish out the year.
Yeah, this is why that's not.
Seattle Sounders, obviously the Tuesday game, that's just going to be hype as hell because of the Leagues Cup final kerfuffle that followed.
Is that in Seattle or is that in Miami?
It's in Miami.
Okay, because Seattle doesn't lose at home.
No. However, Miami finishes home to DC United. They go on the road to NYCFC, on the road to Toronto, and then finish 3 games at home, Chicago, New England, Atlanta. They get to play the worst teams in the East. The only playoff teams are NYCFC and Chicago, and they are the bubble play-in teams.
So they got a lot to play for. Be well motivated.
Maybe. Or Miami has a ton of easy, already dead opponents that they could easily waltz through.
Famous last words. I'm not worried about Miami.
They finish with Nashville.
Oh, I am realizing I did not tab over on FOTMOB.
So
yes, they have one match over. Yes,
Nashville is going to be playing.
Yes,
for something.
Yes,
right.
Yes, and that's in Nashville. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I correct in saying that? I think there's a New York Red Bull game in here as well. Or is it the Atlanta game that was not previously scheduled? It's something like that.
I think it's the Atlanta game.
Okay. FOTMOB did not have this match in here forever. And I for whatever reason, I keep using this website. So
it's going to be fun. It's going to be wild. Philly finishes on decision day with Charlotte. San Diego finishes on decision day with Portland.
Yeah.
The other thing is Seattle's. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it's going to get tasty down the stretch if these teams stay bunched.
Yeah.
Is it also Miami's got 3 or 4 days rest
between all of these
for their next 6 games. Like they play on Tuesday of this week. So it's Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. And then finally after they play New England, they have a full week off.
Wild. So yeah, it's that, they have a bunch of games in hand, but they're going to play them all back to back. But they're the easy teams. But they got a whole bunch of really good players for cheap. It's like, I don't know how to view this. But yeah, that like the shield race is fun. Will both of you concede now FC Cincinnati is in the shield race at time of recording? Things can always change.
They're in it just because they're in it just because they are. Because I'll say this, I would say looking at looking at the standings right here.
Yeah.
I would say that Minnesota, Cincinnati, San Diego, and Philadelphia all control their own destiny in this regard. Is that if any one of those teams win out their remaining 4 games, they would win the Shield. Because I think it's unlikely that all 4 teams are that none of these 4 teams are going to drop points over the next couple of weeks. So I think it's all there.
Yeah.
You're talking about if you're Cincinnati, you need Philadelphia to drop 2 points out of a possible 12, San Diego to drop 1 point off a possible 12. And if they do that, you're probably going to beat them on wins because you're all tied at 17. And that's, as ball knowers know, that's the first tiebreaker in MLS standings. So, I'll say this, they're in a shield race in this regard. If they win all 4 of their remaining games, I think FC Cincinnati wins the Supporters Shield. But that would mean they have to go and they have to win out in LA. They have to win at Red Bull Arena. And I think that game at Red Bull Arena is going to be very, very difficult for this team because they don't play well there and they just do not play well against energy drink soccer styles. Yeah.
LA Galaxy drew 2-2 against Seattle.
Seattle's a good team.
Yeah, very interesting. That was in Seattle as well. 87th minute game leveler for LA Galaxy. So interesting team. They've had a weird little uptick in form to finish the year. So it'll be a tricky one for the FC, but
so here's what I will definitely concede to you, Kevin, is that FC Cincinnati has, we'll preview it obviously in the Thursday episode. They've got LA Galaxy this coming weekend. They've got Orlando on Sunday Night Soccer. They win both those. I think it's very much game on. If they drop points in either one of those scenarios, I don't think they have 2 points to drop on the schedule if they want to win Supporter Shield. So I think it's got to be you're looking at a win out situation.
Yeah. It's a lot of hate watching Western Conference.
I don't know. Every time I say that, though, like, Portland or like San Diego drops more points, or Philly gets the absolute like piss beat out of them. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've given up predicting at this point.
It's tough. Yeah. Earlier this year, we said it was an 8-team race for the Shield and nobody else was in it. And I don't think Charlotte or Nashville were one of those 8 teams. So like, this is a weird season, fun season with this. Chief, also on Thursday, we should say that is when we are going to do our Cincinnati bucket list recap.
Yeah,
that'll be the update there. So, thanks to Evan for taking us along. That was good. That was fun. And
I don't know. Fuck Columbus.
The Cincy Postcast is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out online at thepostcincy.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter and Blue Sky, though, you'll find we're a little more active than the other places. We're also on YouTube, where you can listen to this episode if you aren't listening to it already. We are also putting up video content semi-regularly, including the Away Days series. We want to give a huge thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers for providing the music for this episode. They are a lovely band, and you can find more information out about them in the description of this episode. And if you happen to enjoy what you just heard, can I please ask that you like us, that you rate us on whatever app you're listening to, and maybe more importantly than all of that, share this episode with a friend. When it comes up at work, you're talking about FC Cincinnati, I say, hey, I listened to an FC Cincinnati podcast. I think you guys will like it. It would really, really help us out. Nothing helps a podcast travel more than a good recommendation from a friend, family member. That would be awesome. When it comes to the sorting algorithms that control our lives, a 5-star review would be much appreciated. Also, leaving a sort of written review weirdly does more than that. That's how the algorithms work. So maybe say a nice or a mean thing, whatever. Just as long as you give us 5 stars, that'll really, really, really help us out. And if you are looking for more MLS content, check out our other podcast, The World's Gam. Again, a link will be in the description of this episode. That is where we touch on league-wide storylines and news, and we talk about other games and a couple other teams in there as well. Think you will enjoy it if you are just dipping your toes into Major League Soccer. A huge thank you to all of our sponsors. A even bigger thank you to all of our patrons over at Patreon. But maybe most importantly, thank you for listening to this episode.